What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cross-Site Chatter on AverageJoeGame.com and Dollar TV. I'm your host, Austin, as usual. And with me, I got the co-host, as we switch off, Jay Berry, a.k.a.
Woo!
Prophecy the Prophet.
Yes! Down, up, left, A, right, down! I don't think it's switching to me, but I'll still keep going. Alright. Yes,
Keep it
with this week, we will talk about stuff and things and shenanigans. God damn
Yes.
it, why won't it switch to me? I feel like it's not switching to me and I hate it. But I want people to see me. I'm one of the few black nerds out there. I want people to see me. But yeah, we do this. We try to do this every week for you guys, and for who are watching live and delayed on YouTube afterwards. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. We appreciate you. Like and subscribe to all things Average Joe Gaming and Dollar TV.
Please do.
Had to pimp that shit really quick because
Lights out.
I feel like we always forget that. We never say like and subscribe. We say, oh, follow us here, do all this stuff, and we never say like and subscribe.
Well, like, subscribe, and with us today, we have a special guest, the mighty Muhammad.
It's Mighty Mo, bro. Mighty Mo, like Mo
The Mighty
Money.
Mo.
Mo Money, no problems.
Everyone watching sees Muhammad at the bottom of the screen. They'll see that, so.
Oh, that sucks. You're gonna lose viewership rate just because it says Muhammad down there.
No, or we're gonna gain viewership.
We might
Oh yeah, you might be put on a
Mine-
blacklist after this.
Mine equals blown.
I'm pretty sure this is
Speaking of-
the most multicultural gaming broadcast ever created.
There you go. All shades, all shades.
All
We should
right.
all show our colors real quick, just to be proud. There you go, like that beautiful mocha brown there. Oh, yeah, that's sexy. Show me that vanilla. Show me that vanilla. Give me some of that cream, and then chocolate right on top. Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna show my Major League Gaming thing that I got there, which will bridge into a topic later. See how I did that? That got good. I didn't even plan on that. 100% didn't plan on that.
All right. So, here at Cross-Site Chatter, we do some weekly discussions on games, and today is no exception. We're going to be talking about esports. We're going to be talking about Let's Players and game streaming. We're also going to be talking about the current state of video game journalism. But first, we're going to talk about what we've been doing. Mo, you want to start out?
Oh hell yeah, dude. Actually, I can show everybody what I'm doing right now if you guys want to. I don't know if you can see my computer screen at all. You probably can't because it's not switching over to me. Fucking asshole-ass phone. But I've been working on a lot of trivia. I'm a trivia writer part-time, full-time. And so I write trivia on stuff like video games and movies and stupid shit and fun shit.
Awesome.
Looks like he froze out for a second.
Looks like he froze.
I
He
don't
does.
know if I can be heard. Yeah, I guess I can be heard, but it's not loud enough. Goodness, it's bothering me. All right, we'll come back to him later. I have been playing Shovel Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing that game. I am excited about it. It's very old school and it's very old school and new school at the same time. Somehow it does what I felt Guacamelee did at the same time. It did old and new things at the same time.
Hey, I'm
I've
back.
been playing. Well, hello. I have been playing. Realistically, that's it. Oh, that and Resogun. I've been playing the shit out of Resogun with the Resogun Hero stuff and survival mode and all the extra modes, the 2 extra modes they added. Which
How
is
do you like that? What does it add?
what the survival mode is. It goes through. It's kind of like an endless mode where if you get hit, you die. Essentially, like the normal survival mode would be with anything else. Hey Mo, do me a favor. If you're not talking, mute yourself because your background is like it's killing everybody else because it's not switching over to me, and I like to be seen. God damn it.
I'm seeing you.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think you're just not seeing yourself, dude, because I'm not seeing myself.
Okay, regardless. So, I mean, I've been playing the one mode is it's survival, and you pick up more power ups, and every 4 humans you capture, it you move to a different it adds more enemies and it gets more difficult and all that good stuff. It's really fun. I really enjoy it.
Worth the upgrade?
Yeah, it's $8 for a season pass. It's definitely worth it to me. Especially seeing how Resogun was free. I'll pay $8 for more content.
Yeah, that's true.
And after that, Shovel Knight, and I've been playing. I finally started Child of Light, but then realized I'm not going to start it because it was coming out on the Vita today, so I figured I'd rather get it on the Vita. And I decided to start vacuuming, apparently.
I like Child of Light, but I was kind of disappointed in it.
I know you were. I read the review. Yeah, you did a review on it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because you didn't like how the rhyming worked, which I didn't jump far enough in. I'm not far enough into it where it seems to matter. And it's every second and fourth line, so that's it's not that complex.
No, it's not very complex, but it ends up not. It just doesn't feel like it's written very well as time goes on. It seems forced and amateurish.
Well, I figure to stretch out a 10-hour game or rhyming every other line, I'm sure it definitely had to be forced. They had to definitely, I'm figure, use words they wouldn't normally use.
But I guess it didn't have to. There's a lot of scenes, and the story itself is so storybook that you didn't need as many lines of dialogue as they had. But on top of that, I don't know, just the whole game, it didn't have that wow factor that I thought it would.
Yeah, I still haven't. I'm maybe 15 minutes into it.
But I did love flying around and stuff. That was really fun.
So why don't you guys give me a little bit of a basis for Child of Light? I guess maybe for people who haven't played it either, because I saw that was a game that got offered up. I don't know too much about it. I'm catching on that you guys are talking about rhyming and stuff in it, but I don't know how that factors in or what it's doing.
It is an RPG where it's essentially an RPG and a fairy tale all wrapped into one. I've only just recently dived into. I'm at the absolute beginning. I don't want to throw too much of the story out there, but it's a princess. Something happens to her. She's trying to get back home, and it's done. It's rhyming. Every set of dialogue it rhymes.
And it's
every single set of dialogue.
Yes.
Yep.
They try to. It seems to be from so far in the beginning of the game. It's every second and fourth line. Sometimes they'll try to rhyme the first and third, but not necessarily. I think that happens by accident.
You're talking like a Dr. Seuss book, almost in a sense, or
something a little bit above Dr. Seuss, but not that far above it.
Sounds like a very fun thing to do.
So far, I don't have a problem with it. But again, I haven't finished it, so I'm sure 10 hours in, through something that could have been done in 20 minutes if you read the book. If you did it in a book, it gets really, really cumbersome. I'm sure.
Yeah, but the game, it's also all 2D. You're not running around a 3D space like Final Fantasies right now. So that's kind of an interesting take. But your character can fly around. So you get this exploration element to it too. So you can find secret chests and hidden passageways, and that part about it I really like.
I haven't even. That's how far I'm into the game. I haven't even unlocked being able to fly around yet.
So a side scroller?
Yes. Yeah. It's done in the UbiArt engine, so the same engine that Rayman was done in. So side scroller, really artsy.
You know, I've been noticing a lot of games are starting to favor that 2D side-scrolling thing, or even like a lot of like yeah, you still have your big AAA titles that are hitting those the like graphic power of like especially with next gen systems and stuff, but a lot of games more I think more now than ever now are going back to kind of what nostalgia I guess a little bit if you will, just like what was classic and what people just like the old vibe of a game just playing through just simple but still has some kind of depth to it and you have a lot more room for imagination.
Because it's a formula that's already been perfected over the past 30 years. They can now add, oh, I want to add an RPG element, or I want to add this new thing, this first person or this third person shooter type mechanic in it with a cover system, because they know how to do these things on a larger scale, so they can scale them down and make them work just as fine.
Right. And I really like what you said, Mo. Like, it's simple with depth. Like, a lot of games now, just showing, like, oh, all you're moving is left and right. That can pull in tons of new people. But when you add in, like, the turn-based combat in Child of Light, that's something that maybe most people wouldn't expect to like, but they're pulled in by this simple 2D art style. And it's pretty cool to see. I like it. I feel like it's kind of getting overused, though.
You think Sony has a lot to do with kind of like this emergence of like this indie movement, I guess, so to speak, where everything's kind of not, I mean, dumbing down for lack of a better term, because it's not necessarily dumbing down. It's more or less still making it a really like fun game.
To answer the question you just asked, I think it's the falling out of the middle. There's no mid-tier publishers. There's nobody to make Ghostbusters or to make Brutal Legends or to make those games that fill in the year waiting for your Maddens, your Call of Duties, your Uncharteds, your Halos. You need something to fill in that space, and since we don't have THQ or those type of companies to fill in that gap anymore, indies will fill in that gap.
Yeah, I agree with it. But I do think Sony is at the forefront of it. I think they're taking a bigger step towards indie and a bigger support with that whole scene than anybody. More than Nintendo, more than Microsoft. I mean, even more than the PC. It seems like they're just more in there, more going after developers.
Well, I think Steam is the bigger thing about why it's taken. But then PlayStation definitely, that's because they realized early on that was their niche. Because Microsoft had that market cornered for the first half of the last generation, where everyone was going to bring their indie games to Microsoft because that most people were there. Then Sony started saying, hey, we'll help you. We'll let you self-publish. We'll put money into you with Pub Fund. We'll do all these things to get you to bring them over here. And they said that's going to be their niche.
Yeah.
So, Austin, what have you been playing?
I've just kind of been mimicking you. I've been playing Shovel Knight a whole lot. I was pretty excited because I got a review code before the game came out.
By the way, I was so jealous of you for that.
I was jealous of my previous self who never got it.
How do you go about doing that? Because I wanted to ask you, but I figured, you know what? Every other aspiring person that's looking into getting into video game journalism, how does that process happen?
Okay.
If it's something you can speak on, because I don't know how NDAs work with.
No, I think you can speak pretty candidly about it. Considering Yacht Club Games is just a self-publishing like indie label, you don't really have to go through many hoops. It was simply I emailed them, I think like Wednesday or Thursday before it came out, like a week beforehand, saying, hey, I'm Austin from Average Joe Gaming. We write reviews and do features and stuff. We're a small company, but we're just trying to expand, and we would like a review code. And that was basically it. They sent a response Sunday night, and it basically just sounded like we got lucky. They were like, oh, we had a couple extra copies of a 3DS code, so here you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're like, thanks, being indie, we really appreciate anybody trying to spread the word for us and stuff like that. And then they also send a little like detailed list of information like embargoes and what you can and can't show before the game's released and stuff like that. But yeah, if anybody out there is watching this and is just like writing a blog about games or doing little things, as long as you have something to show, that right there, you have something that you can ask developers and try to move up. Don't be scared of it, because the worst that can happen is you're in the same spot you already are.
See, the words to grow by. Don't be afraid of no.
All right. Yeah. So basically, Shovel Knight. Yeah, I really love that game. I wrote a review for it. That's up on the site. But the best way to explain it is I feel like it is the best of the NES 8-bit generation rolled up into one brand new experience. The music's fantastic. The art is great. The level design is familiar but brand new. And I love the game. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I watched your first impression on YouTube and read the review on AverageJoeGaming.com. Enjoyed them both thoroughly. That's what actually that prompted me to buy the game, because I said I'll wait because eventually it's going to be on the other platform, my other platforms of choice.
Right.
No stranger. I prefer it on my Vita. I prefer every game. If every game can come to the Vita, I'd be happy. But since it's not there yet, I broke down and updated, which took almost an hour and a half to update my 3DS to the most recent firmware because I haven't updated it since New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Wow.
That's yeah. It was still on like 6 point. It was on 6 point something.
Yeah,
so
like
yeah.
A while.
I didn't even have the Club Nintendo, or not the Club, the Nintendo Network stuff on there because I hadn't updated it yet.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I could have talked you into it.
But yeah, and it's exactly what I wanted from video games, so it's what I needed.
Yeah.
All right, I feel that's it. I think we should jump into the first topic.
Let's do it.
So I can be like an Average Joe's podcast and do 3 topics in a week, you know.
Yeah. I mean, no big deal. But it kind of is a big deal. So, yeah. Today, we're going to talk about esports and how big they are becoming in video games and just in general in society. Esports, of course, are basically electronic sports. There are video games that are played competitively in large tournaments and have basically become, as big as chess tournaments. I don't know, golf tournaments.
I think not quite as big as golf, but definitely bigger than chess, because I haven't heard about a chess tournament in.
I threw it in there because I feel like it's in that not incredibly the physical type that you're thinking of when you think of sports, but it's still kind of a sport.
Yeah, there's definitely mental dexterity that goes into it, and you have to you have to be smart. It's a smart thing. There's mind muscles of flexing when you're doing it. So,
and certain games. It may sound dumb trying to explain, but there is even physical dexterity with your hand movements and doing things like that to the point where when you get older, you cannot do it quite as well. So there is a little bit of physical in there.
Yeah, agreed.
That's beside the point, though. It's getting big. We already have some of the biggest events in gaming are EVO, which is a giant fighting game tournament. It's held every year and headlines games like Street Fighter and even now Super Smash Brothers, Tekken, to name a few.
Yeah. which is crazy because at E3 or during the week of E3, Nintendo did their Smash Brothers tournament for the Wii U version of that game to get as a good big marketing ploy, but to show off, hey, this is how the game's going to work and how it's going to function. But at the same time, they pulled some of the biggest names from the EVO tournament to compete. It was an invitation only. They said, hey, you play our game and you essentially advertise for us. Come play this game and be the first to feel it, to see what it feels like, and show the public. Because watching video games has become almost as big as playing them. Actually, I think just as big as playing them.
Right, and that Smash Brothers thing at E3, that was an event. That was something exciting that got a lot of people talking, and it's become a really big thing. The fighting game tournaments are full of tons of recognizable people in the scene right now. Like, you have superstars and things like that.
Right.
If anybody's heard of Daigo, that's a big name in the fighting scene. And I'm not going to try to joke and say I know many more people than that, because I don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure of all of the names in the scene because I don't. I like to play games. It's hard for me to get into watching them, but I enjoy playing them, and there's stuff I'm looking for. But I enjoy playing them, but watching them is a different thing to me. I haven't completely grasped why watching video games is as exciting as playing them, but again, that's the switching over of the guard. I grew up playing them. You couldn't watch them. At no point was there was no internet to watch video games on. There was no dedicated channel that was showing video games actually being played. They were talking about reviews and making fun of nerd things. G4 or in Tech TV prior to that, they weren't really outside of a couple shows here and there on there. They weren't really serious about video games. The YouTube becoming a thing and becoming popular, Twitch becoming a thing and becoming popular, have made video games mainstream. Yeah, so everyone says, "Oh, as long as I can remember, video games are for kids. They're for this. They're for this small subsect of nerds." Video games are currently the most profitable entertainment form. They're more profitable than movies and television. And to think about that, to put that in perspective, for years those people have talked bad about people that write stories for video games. Oh, video games don't need a story. They need to be fun. Agreed, video games do need to be fun to a certain degree, but now they are about story. They are an interactive medium, an interactive storytelling medium. They give you all of that stuff that you need.
Yeah, it's huge, and like it's profitable in ways that other mediums aren't, and that's kind of where esports comes in and really shows just how profitable it can be if you're in an esport. There's also the International, which is Valve's big tournament for Dota players, which is a MOBA. That's a massive online battle arena game in which 2 teams of 5 players, I believe, basically fight for control of an arena. And to give a little idea of how much money people are winning in this, the prize pool for this year's 2014 International is over $10 million. So now that's not the first place gets $10 million, but for all the winners,
yeah, but that's still massively insane.
$10 million in prize money they're giving out. Yeah, insane.
That's more than I'll guarantee more than I'll make lifetime unless I figure something out that's profitable.
So just for playing a game with some team-based skills for basically one day of play, you can make over $1 million.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
That's what's that. I
Is
have
this for the League of Legends?
No, that's Dota. Dota 2. So I'm sure it's the game that they're playing, but Dota,
Okay.
Yeah, Dota 2.
which is a MOBA, which is a Austin, because you remember the acronym.
Massive online battle arena.
There you go. The only MOBA I have played is called Awesome Not the Symbol.
Yep.
That's like it's essentially instead of to my knowledge, most MOBAs are three-quarter camera angle. Awesome Knots is a side scroller, but it's the same premise where there's two teams battling for the control of essentially the other person's map, the other person's headquarters, or from complete control of the map.
Right, and Mo brought up a great game that we're going to get into, League of Legends. With League of Legends, we got something brand new, pretty exciting happening in gaming, and that is... Jay, tell him what it is, Jay.
It's video game scholarships. A school in Chicago, along with several other schools, but the one school to start is Robert Morris College in Chicago. They're giving a 50% scholarship for League of Legends players. They're attempting to build 3 teams for League of Legends. So a main team and 2 support teams. You know, haven't dived completely that deep into the League of Legends world to know everything, to understand why you need a main team and support teams. I'm not sure how it officially works. So bear with me on that for anyone that is watching that's probably screaming at me because I don't understand. But so they're giving, that's essentially I think about 36 50% scholarship. So they're covering your tuition, allowing you to play video games to go to school. The thing that every parent for 30 years said, "Oh, you need to stop playing those video games and study." They're allowing both to happen. They're allowing you to continue to play games and to put yourself through school. And to understand, like you say, oh, because League of Legends is a free to play game. But if you want to be serious and jump in and be competitive, I do know a couple of League of Legends players, and a buddy of mine, he wanted to diagram and show me everything, but again, there's a lot. He said, but to jump in and to be able to be battle ready for competitiveness, you need to sink in about $2,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you need to sink in about. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so let me ask you this then. With this whole League of Legends scholarship thing, do you actually have to throw in, like, well, obviously you're a competitive player and you're already putting money into it. Is it something that anyone who just plays casually can jump into, and possibly the scholarship could help fund the League of Legends playing as well, or is it strictly just for schooling?
From what I understand, it's being wrapped into the school's varsity scholarship program. So they will be going out to recruit players, just like when people come to high school basketball games, sit there in the stands and they evaluate players. Same thing, same premise. They'll be evaluating kids on their video game playing ability at League of Legends tournaments here and there to decide, hey, this kid needs a scholarship. He needs to be on our team.
All right, I am all for the video games and the scholarships and everything, dude. Jay, you know me well enough already, man. I'm all about it. But something that pops up into my mind thinking about that, especially since right now it's basically League of Legends, do you think there's any sort of conflict of interest in there? Saying that, well, League of Legends is a free-to-play game. We want people to put money into it and play it. And now Robert Morris College is like, oh, well, hey, we'll throw some money to people who are playing this game competitively to go to school. So, like, mixing those two things up, does it seem, I mean, I hope it's not, but does it seem like it could be a little fishy? Like,
no, those kids, it's just like competitive college basketball and competitive college football. The kids are not being paid for playing the game. The money I'm assuming, not sure how it, I know how college basketball and all that stuff works because that was just recently in the media. And that works on we're providing them with school. Any money, all that stuff is being made from that sport is going to the school. It's funding the school. So they'll be given scholarships. They'll be put up. They'll be help put through school. But any money made through that tournament will be completely based on. Will go through the school. Will everything the school is gaining profit out of it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean the school's getting profit out of it, but is it turning into a, you think there could be more to it than just, oh yeah, let's get these kids in school. You don't think there could be some sort of privatization going on, like, hey, there's now these people are going to want to play League of Legends more. They're going to pump more money into it, so it's feeding that economy while at the same time getting people to go into school and essentially, graduate from Robert Morris College.
I definitely kind of think the people behind League of Legends might have had some push for that.
I can guarantee that they said, hey, you guys want to get into this esports thing. I'm sure I can guarantee that there's somebody's making billions of dollars on this. I'm sure somebody will say, hey, we want to get more people, because it's always been the push for kids to, hey, go to school, play basketball, or pick up a football, or be competitive in sports. When now the job market doesn't need people to be physically competitive. They need people who have computer skills. And
Because
the best way to push computer skills are people that have finger dexterity and that can type and that can manually. If you're playing League of Legends, guaranteed you're doing it mouse and keyboard style, because that's the only way to play it. I was screamed at by my buddy that I have about possibly mapping things to a controller. He screamed at me and told me for several hours why that will not work.
And the thing is, like, most games, they fall out. Sooner or later, they die out. And the guys behind League of Legends, I'm sure, are shitting their pants for that day. And this kind of deal, whatever's going on behind it, like, if schools are starting to play League of Legends and making these scholarships, that's going to prolong the life of the game so much longer.
It's definitely going to give it a tail. It's definitely going to stave off any type of the bottom falling out for them, because as long as you can reiterate on that game, and with a mobile, you can probably every 5 years release a new version of it, and with tiny upgrades or a massive overhaul. You don't have to be the John Maddens or the Call of Duty who people expect them to. They never fulfill the promise, but they always expect them to have this new huge thing. You don't have to do that, because those players in that community understand it's about the tight systems that are in place.
Like, that's awesome that the world, that they're doing that, because, I mean, it's definitely pushing, football scholarships and all that stuff. Those are nice and dandy and all, but, I mean, those are the epitome of, we want to get star athletes, we want championships. The academic portion of it was always a second thing in my eyes, with football scholarships and whatnot, and any kind of academic scholarship. It was all about championships and making a name for yourself. And this, maybe it is to a certain extent as well, but at least on the bright side of things, it's pushing people into using more of their minds. And even to go beyond League of Legends, if we were to go into something like, for instance, Civilization, which isn't a free-to-play, but Civilization is a game that does require a lot of strategy, and strategy-based games like that could really push people to their mental limits, and make them think a little farther outside the box, think about things they can do, and just the amount of possibilities that you can get with just, the mods and everything, and different ways you can take on certain problems and certain tasks. Like, it's a good thing for people to push people academically and push people mentally, so because we're not just relying on a bunch of people who are muscle bound or who has a good arm or who can run fast. We're looking at people who can actually use their brains now, which is a really cool thing about that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it's also like the team aspect of League of Legends, which it can happen with other games. That seems like that was a big factor in them deciding to pick League of Legends, was the fact that you are playing a 5-on-5 game, and you do have to communicate with other people and work together. And it definitely seems like it's it's a game that is going after a different set of people and giving them a chance to succeed at something that they wouldn't be able to normally.
All right. So I have a question. What do you guys think out on the outside of the people playing it? What do you think the draw is to people watching things like League of Legends? You know, to actually the aspect of being entertained by watching someone else play a game like that, or any other competitive game, like we spoke about the Evo tournaments and the Invitational and all that stuff. What draws people to want to watch video games? Why is watching video games as a form of entertainment where you're not interacting with it at all? Why is that entertaining? Austin, figuring you probably know. Again, us doing videos of games and all that kind of stuff. That's definitely something we should think about, because I understand if it's gameplay, if it's early gameplay footage, or if it's a preview or something early, but I haven't figured out why just watching gameplay footage is completely entertaining. What are your thoughts on it, Austin?
Well, I feel like you are asking like two questions there. As far as Evo and the international, even with Summer Games Done Quick, the charity event that just ended, I think there's a big appeal in watching games played with a certain level of skill that a normal guy's just not going to be able to do. Even for someone like me that plays tons of video games, I can't really commit to one game myself and like master. So to see something played at a level that's like completely insane, just having the base knowledge of how a video game works, it's really cool to watch that. Watching certain Street Fighter matches where people are pulling off like just insane combos that I can't even press the buttons quick enough to do. That stuff is really fun, really entertaining, and I think that's one of the reasons why these tournaments are so profitable. Because a lot of people want to see that level of skill.
See, I can understand fighting games because, again, I grew up going to arcades, so I can understand, because I was always at some point you had to be the guy waiting on your turn, watching other people play. So I can understand fighting games because there is a level of skill. That level of skill there that completely dwarfs yours, and watching it in awe is a cool thing. But I'm not sure the extension of that with other games. Now, again, if you're watching somebody do a 5-minute speed run of Mario, or 4 minutes and 57 seconds, I think the record is, that's awesome. But like, something like watching someone play Farm Simulator, which there's a lot of videos on YouTube about Farm Simulator.
Well, that's a really cool thing is a lot of the tournaments and even a lot of the YouTube videos are complete with a commentary. Sometimes it's done by the player, sometimes it's done by someone who's just really knowledgeable about the field. And a good commentator can get even the most oblivious person about the game to get really excited about it and kind of understand what's going on.
Okay,
it kind of goes along the same things with sports too, though. Like it works basically like that. It's kind of like why people buy wrestling games, why people buy the Madden games, why people. It's a fantasy that people want to live in. You just want to sit there. You can do stuff like that. You can't do it as well, but you can still do it, and you feel like it's kind of giving you an insight as to what I can do to better myself in this field. So if I'm interested in League of Legends, or if I'm interested even for whatever other game, like playing wrestling or whatever, or football, because there's a little more to it. I'm getting an insight how things may work out on the field, and it gives me that measure, like, okay, you know what, they did something like this. This is what this team would do for whatever reason. So it gives them a little bit more like, hey, I can try this on my next playthrough, and maybe I'm not going to get to the professional level, but I'm learning something new about something I already enjoy.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like virtual training.
Right.
You just feel like.
By the way, everyone watching, our second topic was talking about Let's Play. We're in our second topic. We transitioned so smooth into it, we forgot to announce that it was a different topic.
That was the whole idea of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to let them know where the break was because, you know, some people don't care about League of Legends. I am trying to care, and I'm starting to because hashtag video games. But yeah, you gotta care about this stuff. But I personally so I wanted to ask the questions of the straight man, but I really do understand the value in watching a lot of games because I am okay at Mega Man. I'm below average. You know what? Mega Man has such a high curve. I'm probably at average, which if you're not great at Mega Man, you suck. So I'm probably in the average range. But like I watch some IGN stuff. I watch other people play Mega Man and can do it flawlessly and do it, and I will watch that. I can watch Mega Man for hours.
I feel like if you can beat Mega Man, a Mega Man game, you're a decent Mega Man player.
That's what I said. I can finish them, but I can't. It takes me and a lot of people I know a long. Like I've only finished the first 6 games. I'm saying like the first 6. I haven't finished the 9 or 10 on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Arcade. Because they're hard. God damn it, they're hard.
9's a bitch.
Yeah, I know.
10's easier.
See, I haven't made it to 10 because I haven't finished 9 yet, and I want to go in order. But yeah, I completely understand that aspect of being able to watch a game and being entertained by it for the because it's like I said, it is currently the most profitable form of entertainment, video games. So that's from people watching them, people playing them, people just caring about the story. When the Last of Us came out, I called. My mother had come over to our house, and I was saying, "Oh my God, there's this zombie kind of like zombie thing. You gotta watch with me." I started explaining it to her. And she said, "Oh my God, that sounds heart wrenching." So yeah, it's a video game, and she did watch the first section of it until we get to the future, until it jumps to 20 years later, and she was almost ready to cry, like she was that emotional, and I'm almost 30, so she's my mother. I'll leave it there. That's age-wise. Like she ages out of video games, like things like that. So she was actually emotionally invested in it, which is just watching the entertainment side of video games stretches far beyond. That's why every halfway decent video game gets a movie now because they're trying to figure out how to monetize. They're trying to figure out, hey, how can we tell these compelling stories to people who don't like video games, who don't want to actually play the video games. This is personally why I think the Let's Plays happen, or at least or at least watching the stories of them unfold with a little bit of gameplay in between, because you get people who aren't going to play video games. My mother's not going to learn how to use analog sticks to maneuver the camera to play The Last of Us or Uncharted or every other game out there that's artistically done. But she can definitely care about the story.
Right.
Metal Gear kind of kicked that off too, man. I don't know if you guys remember when Metal Gear Solid came out. There started coming out clips of like them putting. I think it might have been even available in the game where you could literally just watch it from beginning to end, every single cinematic sequence that went through there, and just to get the story and get the vibe of how everything went.
You can do that with Metal Gear Solid 4 with a controller in your hand because there's only about 25 seconds of gameplay in the whole game. Just saying.
Very true.
Who's replaying that right now? And I'm like, hey, have you played the game yet? I don't know though. The Let's Plays thing, it's such a weird phenomenon going on because.
Oh, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I understand it. I feel like a lot of people end up kind of gravitating toward the personalities more so than the games themselves. I feel like that's why PewDiePie on YouTube is making $4 million a year by just playing video games and putting them on YouTube, because for some reason people want to watch him play those games. I don't know if they're actually going there to watch the games or just to watch his reactions.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Well, I watched a couple of PewDiePie things. Not to sound like that guy, but I definitely don't get it with him. Why it's so why it's so attractive with him watching him. But I do agree it is the personalities. That's why like when I do my series so far, it's the only series I've done. I'm trying to work at banging out some other series, but the background noise series, I'm letting people get to know me. I want to have the comment. I want them to know me because that's what I feel draws people into it. You can watch anybody's video game footage, but it is the personalities behind it that sell it to you. Because I could watch anybody play. I could watch hundreds of hours of Minecraft on there, on the internet, on YouTube. But I definitely watch there's a couple of IGN personalities. I watch theirs because I like the conversations they're going with them and while they're playing the game.
Right. Mo, do you watch anything?
On YouTube, not very much. I'll actually my YouTube stuff kind of goes into more of the musical aspect. I enjoy people like if they're playing a game and they'll do like the acapella versions of their I forgot the guy's name. I can't think of his name for the life of me right now, but that's the kind of stuff I watch if I'm going on YouTube. You know who I'm talking about, don't you, Jay?
His name is Smooth, something Mixed Smooth or something.
Yeah. Mixed Smooth. You're right on it, man. It's like something like that, but he'll do.
Yeah, I follow him. Yeah. He does the acapella gameplay over it, yeah, and that's what. But you know, it's his personality. That's what draws you in. You say, hey, I can watch this gameplay with this very awesome acapella version of this song that molded my childhood.
And for me, you know, that's kind of it's just kind of like coming from a different aspect because I mean, you guys are seeing it. I think a lot of people, what's making it so big is that people are into the reality thing, you know, so. People love drama. People love shit that's about to go down. So if you always have something to say, and if you have something to just make something much more intense, or you can add to the intensity or to the emotion behind something, then awesome. For me, it's always been more about like the music and the creativity that can go behind doing something. So he's doing something that's a little different. That's not that really just pops out. So it's like, oh, and he does it really well. Like, he's spot on with his music. So, like, me being a musician, that's what sticks out to me a lot.
The gentleman's name is Smooth McGroove.
There you go, Smooth McGroove. I do follow him on YouTube.
Yeah, I should fake a divorce while playing gameplay, and I might get a little bit more hits. Something
Probably. Very yeah. Just like when a couple months ago, or 5 months ago, that viral video went up of some guy's girlfriend smashing his PlayStation 4, or the guy smashing his PlayStation 4 outside of the launch.
Or those Hulk smash videos where it's the fucking World of Warcraft stuff.
Yeah,
that was funny.
The drama of it, but yeah, I definitely think it is the personalities. They definitely push the medium forward in that respect, because you have this thing that you respect. You watch this person, you listen to their conversations, you respect their point of view. If they're reviewing a game or if they're bringing you coverage of the game, they talk. Oh my God! Somebody's making popcorn. I don't know if everyone else can hear it. Oh, I think it's you.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, Mo, we can't hear you. I believe that's you. Unplug your mic and then plug it back in. There we go. That sounds better. Oh my God, it still works. Oh my God, it still works. Oh my God, I had to mute him because
airplane crashing.
All right, it's better, I think, because I just unmuted him. So, can you hear me? Can you hear us, Mo?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do. Yes, but like, cause you do get wrapped up in the personalities of these people that are bringing you this video game content, whether it be reviews, whether it be gameplay footage, whether it just be the news. I listen currently to almost every video game podcast on several video game sites.
Okay, name them all.
I listen to the Giant Bombcast. I listen to
Me too.
I listen to what do you call that? IGN. I listen to the PlayStation Blogcast. I listen to Beyond. I listen to
Beyond.
Yeah. I listen to what do you call it? I listen to the IGN's Xbox podcast.
3 Red Lights.
Podcast Unlocked. I listen to a lot of I listen to the Nerdist. I listen to, and he talked. There's a large portion of video game content that goes. It's because of those. Again, it is those personalities. Again, following with the Nerdist. I watch when he was doing what do you call that show that was on G4. Well, that I do the Talking Dead also, but I also listen. I watch at midnight. I watch because I care about the personality. Him pushing this jive on me, knowing that he is a genuine nerd, and I care about the things he says. I listen to him going beyond video games. Just you
can follow him. I mean, even with we're just plugging every other place.
Right, right. We're still selling things, but we can put them in the tag and
I mean, with Podcast Beyond, and then he started his Game Over Greggy stuff. I'm sure he's doing all right for himself. He's got the shirts and things like that.
Right.
And people want to follow that personality. So it's really kind of cool that we're in that position where if you do become very likable, even if it's just like internet fame, you can kind of start something on your own and almost make a business out of it.
Yes. Because I can definitely see, like we spoke about Greg Miller, I can definitely see him or someone like him that's likable like that being the next Tonight Show host or nighttime talk show host, because it's all about the personality. It's all about getting a subset of people to like you, die hard, and follow you into hell.
Yeah.
Just speaking of all of those personalities we talked about, we're going to talk about the video game journalism side of things. You see what I did there? Oh, I love my transitions.
What a great Greg way. We're going to have to tag him.
Right. So, So we're talking about, Let's Plays, watching gameplay video, watching gameplay footage. Also, what goes along with that stuff is reviews, because again, that's a large portion of what the gaming culture is. Watching footage of someone telling you what they think about something. The internet is one big opinion. Not necessarily good, but it's an opinion.
Woo-wee. It's an opinion, all right.
So, with that going, you have the big thing I want to talk about is the double-edged sword of the video games industry, the journalism side of the video games industry. Because you have sites that are pumping out this content saying, hey, this is why you should be excited for a game. This is what's happening with it. These are the things that they're showing us, and we're seeing. We're getting to say, oh my God, I want to spend $60 on this game and the $50 afterwards for the DLC that they're going to sell me, and they're going to pump all this content out. Then you get the game, and it is a bunch of half-hearted promises that were attempted to be pushed into what they said they were, but due to time restraints or budget restraints, whichever was the reason for this game to not be what it was, you then have the review. You then have the review that said, "Oh well, the game is lacking this, and this. We're going to give it 2 out of 5. So we're going to give it 2 out of 5 stars, or we're going to give it a 4 out of 10." And you have the hey, you were the same guys that were trying to sell me on this game, and now that it's out, you're saying it's awful. The 2 days after the game has come out, you release the review, and it's an awful game.
Daylight, 2 out of 5, average Joe Gaming.
But I didn't have. There you go. Exactly. There's the negative games that are out, the negative games and the negative things in the games journalism industry, which can't be played. I think now, especially now, starting to become on the side of the games journalist, where I'm giving content, giving my opinion about stuff. People have to realize that it's an opinion. It is how this one person feels about this product. You should never base your faith on a review score.
No.
You should say, hey, read the review, look at the review, listen to the review, and say, hey, these are some things this person. Right. Also, know the reviewer. That is a very big. Thank you, Austin. I was going to forget that one. Knowing the reviewer is the biggest part of it, because you have to know. You have to say, hey, this one guy doesn't like these 6 things about it. oh, what didn't he like about other games? Are there things that I care for, that I like specifically, or are there things that I didn't like, so I'd agree with him? Because
Right.
again, it's video games are subject. Any review score, not just for video games, but review scores in general are subjective because it's based on what this person likes. I looked at a review for a UFC, the new UFC game, and a guy that reviewed it, who's normally a fighting games guy, said, "Oh, he didn't like it because he felt it was too complex and all this stuff."
Sounds like you. That's what I was saying.
Exactly. But you know what? It's supposed to be complex. The game, it's a very complex sport, and there are a lot of things that that happen. And again, I respect this guy's opinion completely, but he's not a UFC fan, or maybe even a fan of the previous games that much, so he wouldn't. Or you wouldn't, since I'm obviously talking about you, Austin. Wouldn't necessarily. It wouldn't be something that you would have jumped wholeheartedly into in the first place.
Yeah, it's always good to know the reviewer, but the big thing I feel like in games journalism and how it's kind of colliding with this YouTube fame and how people are just throwing opinions out there is there needs to be a level of professionalism and a level of criticism to the medium that you're putting out. When I review a game, I mean, this is me personally, but I hear it from other reviewers and people that work on much larger, more viewed websites.
Right.
And you got to go into a game with a completely clean slate and don't judge it starting from a 10 and down here. You just kind of have to play the game, take it for what it is and what it's not. And however you personally feel about it, like you do got to put that on the page, but you also got to think about it in a more critical sense. I mean, me personally, if I see something that I feel like is a negative point about the game, but it doesn't bother me much, I'm still going to mention that in the review because I feel like as a I guess a small member of the games medium, I feel like that's my job. Like I have to educate people on this game for what's good, what's bad, just what it's all about. And I feel like some sites have started to go toward like almost a too personable route, where it's so much of an opinion and not like a critical look at the game. And I don't really agree with that personally.
I can agree. I can agree with what you're saying because it is a little too personal now. I do feel that it's not. Hey, these are things that are wrong, or these are things that are right. This is how I feel about this game.
Yeah, and like I just don't think that is the best way to go about it, especially when you're in that medium, when you are a games journalist, or yeah.
Okay.
If you're writing for a big site like IGN or GameSpot or US Gamer, you are in a position where you're reaching way more people than your average YouTube person who's just going to be like, dude, this game totally rocks, I got to blow up a plane.
Than your average Joe that is gaming?
Oh! Yeah. So I feel like you do have to take a more critical approach to it.
Agreed. I agree with that because you're reaching people who again haven't seen a product and haven't had the chance to form an opinion on it. You either previous to the YouTubes and the internet being what it is, you had to read a magazine article and say, okay, I hope I can trust this guy, or you had to read the back of a video game box
and
look at the pictures of it. You can't even do that. You can't do that online, or you can do it. They give you pictures online, but it's not. By no means is it the same. Or you had to judge it by the box art. You had to look at
NES days. Woo.
You had to look at the bad Mega Man with holding a gun and say, you know what, this is a game for me. You had to, there's now. I suppose again, there's the opinions of it to inform people of how everything works versus not previously having the opinions to show. We definitely have to find the middle ground of opinions versus fact. I personally am looking to do away with review scores. For me, because I'm gonna start reviewing games when I have the time to. Because since I buy everything launch day, I might as well start reviewing them. So I bought. Example: I bought Guacamelee when it came out. Even though I'm getting it will be free this month for Xbox One.
Right. Oh no!
Did
Jay.
you just lose Jay?
Yep, we just lost Jay.
The face that I'm seeing right now is priceless, though. I hope you're seeing the same face I'm seeing right now.
He'll be back. He'll be back. What do you think about the? Oh, there he is.
What I want to do is monetary. Oh, there we go. Can you see me?
Oh yeah, we can see.
Am I here?
You're like Han Solo frozen in carbonite.
Okay, good.
Bro.
Oh, that was awesome. So I don't know where it picked up, but I'm going to talk about my take on what I want to do with review scores.
Yeah.
The review scores should be done away. I'm doing away with them. I'm doing monetary sliding scales. What the game is worth at its release, at its highest point, the default version. No special edition. No, maybe I'll rate special editions too. But the default game, what it's worth when it's released, compared to the monetary version of it. So if it's Assassin's Creed Unity. If I don't play it, it's a good game. I don't feel like it's worth $60. Well, okay, I'll make $43. So I'm like, hey, if you can catch it anywhere under $43, it's definitely a buy. Because all games, from the perspective is, they all should be played. They should be enjoyed. Because I've played lots of bad video games in my lifetime, and you had to enjoy it. Back in the early '90s, you had to enjoy them because you didn't get many video games. You had to play bad games. You had to play
Adventures of Dr. Frankenstein.
Right, there you go. Or you had to play the real Ghostbusters NES game, or Fist of the North Star. One of my favorite games as a child. One of my favorite video games as a child. But that game is fundamentally broken on every aspect. When you punch a guy, like it tried to do what the anime does and make their head explode, but it just looks like someone's vomiting inside of their body and it's being expelled out through their pores. That's what the game looks like.
I want to play this game now.
It's great, and I enjoy it, but that's also, I grew up playing it. I said, oh, I love the anime as a kid, which I watched it way too young, because I watched people being poked through the chin. Good old Japan.
Good
but
wholesome entertainment.
Yeah. But I forgot about. But all video games need to be played and for what they are. But we're saying, oh, this is a bad video game. This is the worst video game ever made. That's a far reach, because nothing is worse than E.T.
Yeah, that's why they were all in a garbage dump.
Yeah, exactly. So to say, oh, this is the worst game, every game should be played because someone somewhere will find enjoyment in it. Because the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the video game, it's a bad game, but it does one thing right, and I have so much fun with it. I play it and play it and play it, even though I shouldn't.
Yeah, there's definitely enjoyment to be had with even the worst of the worst. And I like that idea of a money scale, because when the price is right,
I don't care what the game is.
If I'm picking up a game for $2 that used to be $60, and it's broke as shit, but who cares? I paid $2 with it. Now I'm having a blast. Yeah, that's an awesome idea, Jay. I like it.
It's just like just recently, And we put on Average Joe Gaming. We played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Yeah.
That game is broke as shit. It has been broke since it was released on Xbox Live. It just recently came to the PlayStation Network. And it is still 100% as broke as it was. It's not even worse than it was on Xbox.
There's videos on YouTube that show this. No more than we started it up, it was broke.
Yeah. There's on Average Joe Gaming's website and YouTube channel, you can watch how broke the game is. For certain people, like for me, when I played, we were having a boss fight with the giant Mouser. It looked like a foot soldier.
Foot soldiers stuck in the cement.
Yeah, and everyone else saw a Mouser, and I saw exactly. Yeah, that's what it was. This huge broken thing, but I cannot remember the last time I had that much fun playing a game. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. Like we all had a lot of fun. That's what I said. Regardless of how bad or broken a game is, you're just not playing it right. So when you look at these review scores and say, "Oh my God, it's fundamentally broken," it'll give you a headache. I can guarantee you, if you sit down with some buddies, maybe some beer and some pizza, that game that was a 1 will move up the scale to a solid 5 with the level of fun you've had.
Definitely.
So what are you guys takes on the double-edged sword of the video games journalism industry?
Is Mo there?
I'm here. I was actually gonna let you tackle on that one. I'll let you take a first crack at it. wait, hold on. Well, let me ask you this: what do you mean by like a double-edged sword of video game journalism? Do you think?
Okay, you were out when I jumped in with that. So from conception of a game to the game's release, you have video game websites and the internet bringing you bits and pieces of this game. They're saying, "Oh, these are new features that are being implemented in it. This is the company that's building it. You know them from this other game that you enjoyed that they built. Here's gameplay footage of this video or this game." And months and months and months and years and now years go by. You see this game every couple of months, and then when you get it, they say, "Oh, be excited because this Aliens game was done by the guys that did Borderlands, and you really love Borderlands, don't you?" And then, "Oh, this is what it's supposed to look like. Oh my God, it looks so great." And then when you get the game, it's not necessary. And those guys those reviewers and those internet personalities that have been pushing this game to you say, "Hey, be excited because I saw this part of the game and it looks really cool. It looks good." They turn around and then have to review it and say, "Oh my God, this is one of the worst games I've ever played. It's so broken and everything's wrong with it." So there's that. You say you're essentially giving people the information they want on the video game, but say that because there's people clicking on it and looking at it and liking it and enjoying it, you continue to give them that product. Then when you see that you get the finished product, it's not as good as people would have expected. You're crucified because you told them the truth in the end that it wasn't a good game.
I mean, you can only expect so much, I guess, like, out of it. Like, people, I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know, that's a weird question for me to kind of, like, answer, I guess, like, to hit. And, honestly, God, like, I got distracted for a second, being a father, my bad, dude.
Don't worry, I'm one, Austin's becoming one, so we all know.
You see, you're becoming one still? Dude, you've been a father for a while now.
No, I'm a father, Austin's becoming one.
Yeah, sure. I'll be one in November.
Nice. Congratulations and good luck with that.
Yeah, but on my end, I feel like you were saying, Jay, I feel like sometimes the previews are the most misleading things out there. And that always bothers me when you can kind of look at a video and be like, this is not going to be that great of a game. But the previews and what they're writing about are all in a more bright and cheery.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, it might be all right. Come on, just get your pre-orders in. But in a way, like we need the journalists and those people here to be the voice that the masses can't be. In the end, every video game developer is trying to make money and trying to sell their game, and I hate being that guy to be like, well, if your game sucks, people shouldn't play it. But if your game sucks, people shouldn't play it. What am I trying to say? Basically, the company who is making that game is going to come out, and they are going to be those people that are like, this is the best game you've ever wanted in life. And it's cheap, the big world goes round. And you need reviewers and people in the media to be like, hey, this game might not be that great. And then we need people like you, Jay, to be like, hey, wait for it to go on sale for $5.
Agreed. That's what you need. There's a perspective that needs to be had by all. Just like I was sold on a game by a gentleman on the premise alone being the craziest thing that I have ever heard. There's a game called Naughty Bear.
Oh yeah.
Where you're a bear who didn't get invited to someone else's birthday party, so you decide to go kill the rest of the bears.
Right.
That sounds like, on paper, sounds like the greatest video game idea ever. Sounds like the most batshit insane video game that you could ever play. Fundamentally broken once it had come out and all this stuff, but again, it's broken, it's bad. It was broken. But again, not one of my favorite, wouldn't make my top 100 list, but I still enjoy it every time I play it. I've bought it 4 or 5 times. I bought it at the store 2 or 3 times. I bought it used once. I downloaded the damn thing because you can't put a price tag on fun.
Right.
You know, if there's stuff everyone can enjoy these things regardless of how broken it is or how unfun it is, quote unquote.
You know what the problem is with a lot of people, though, is like everyone's looking. That's, I guess, where journalism goes. Like everyone's looking for that next big Call of Duty. Everyone's looking for each game has to be on a Call of Duty caliber, on an Assassin's Creed caliber, or even in my eyes, a Metal Gear or Uncharted caliber. Everything has to reach this huge thing when they forget. A lot of people tend to forget, and thankfully people are starting to move back towards it now, that it's just about having some fun and enjoying yourself. And Jay, you said it best before when we've talked about this before, is putting a price on your fun. If you paid $20 and you got 10 hours of fun out of that, then you've gotten your value out of it, because that's $20 for 10 hours. People do that shit at the casino all the time, and they blow a lot more money than that. And
exactly.
So like it's a matter of how much fun you're getting into it. And the journalists, they look at it as like they just have to. Journalists kind of have to see it as like, oh, they have to look at everything as the next big game, because their sole job is to review a game, and unless it really, really sucks or really pisses people off, they gotta sell it. They're salespeople just like the people in GameStop are, just like the people at Best Buys and Walmarts and any other place that sells video games. They have to sell it. That's a salesperson's job. But they don't realize that everybody, very few people will actually take the time and realize that there's all sorts of different gamers out there. There's people who play casually, which is why Call of Duty became such a big thing, because it started off something that people can just pick up and play. There's not a huge learning curve, but once you get good, you're really good at it. And then there's people who want a little more depth. There's people who want the story. There's people who like Super Mario. There's people who love the Wii, which is why the Wii was such a huge phenomenon, And it's just a matter of trying to find that niche for every player and informing them of all that stuff. And maybe journalism doesn't do that as well as it should, but it definitely could. Like, if you just more people out there to be flat out honest and not be driven by money.
I think for the most part you're right, but I don't think people enough. I think people look when you review a game. I think more people look at the end score compared to actually reading a review.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, well, these bullet points at the end and this score, or just this score, say, oh, I just need to know if the game's good or bad. What's the score on it? Oh, you guys said this game is going to be great, and you gave it a 6. first of all, a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, a 6 is above average. And that is another problem with it. People don't they look at the scale of being, oh well, 6, that's average. I shouldn't spend my money on that. If more people need to think of it like this: if you're married or you're looking for a girlfriend, you're probably below a 6. So the fact that you want someone to invest the time with you, invest the time with this video game that's at a 6. Most people by average are like 3 and 4. And they still find a person to be with.
Because they find that thing that just clicks with them. That one
Right.
thing about that
And
one
that's
thing
what
that stuck
people
out.
That's what people need. That's what people need to do with video games. Fine. That's what everybody is looking for. Oh my God, this is the next game. If I'm spending $60, this game should be this. It should. Oh my God, it should last 100 hours. Me personally, I don't have 100 hours to put into one game anymore.
You want to know what did that for me? You remember ActRaiser
On
on
the
the Super
SNES?
Nintendo?
I want to play that game so bad.
What?
He wants
wanna
to play
play
it so
the-
bad.
It's such an awesome game, and just thinking back, like it stood the test of time in my eyes. It's something I can go back and I can play it, and the stuff you can do, and I'm always looking forward to that next evolution on top of that, like taking that game and even modernizing, because it was fun to play back then. It's still fun to play now, and like take that into something newer, like add more depth to it, more things that you can do. You know, can you imagine with today's technology how much more you'd be able to do with your towns and your cities on top of all the demons and stuff like that? That was an amazing game.
Some people say Chrono Cross is the next ActRaiser.
I have never played Chrono Cross.
Well.
That's wild.
I don't know about that.
Oh. Just had to rile some people up with that one. But no,
I never played ActRaiser, but I'm playing Chrono Cross.
But yeah, that's again. As a kid, we all had enough because you didn't have anything else. You didn't have girlfriends, wives, children, jobs. You didn't have anything to worry about except for school, and we all pissed that away for the most part.
I did.
Yeah, I was like, as a kid, we could have definitely all been more focused on school and less focused on the crap that we all were focused on. Again,
I was
video
focused
games.
on school till I met you guys.
Oh, fuck you! Which is actually the truth. Me and a bunch of other people we went to high school with completely corrupted him, and he fell down this rabbit hole that he never really recovered from. Sorry,
I
Mo.
was the guy doing homework on Friday nights my freshman and sophomore year until they called me out on it, and then
You don't go to side conversation for this. You don't go to somebody to a sleepover to friend's house and do homework. You just don't do it.
On a Friday night.
Right. Just saying. Hashtag nerdy things. But you had the time as a kid. You like everyone wants. They want the most they can get out of their $60. First off, video games are. People say, $60 is so much for a video game. When the Nintendo 64 was out, video games were $60.
70 for some.
Yeah, some were set like Pokemon Stadium.
Superman
Legend
64.
of Zelda. Was it? Superman 64 was $70?
I'm pretty sure Superman was 70.
Oh my god, and that is probably one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah. Now, okay, there we go. When I said if your game sucks, you shouldn't play it, I kind of feel like I said that in a bad term. If it sucks for you, the person, like you read the review and you're like, this game is not for me, then that's what reviews are for. That's what the journalists are for. But Superman 64, those people who made that game, they're a bunch of motherfuckers.
I think they knew. I think 100% they knew. You don't put that game out and not know that it's a bad game.
And then there's stuff like the mobile market, and I can't get behind those guys. A lot of people making games on that. I remember IGN showed video of The Legend of Zelda, and it was the most broke ripoff of a Zelda game where like you couldn't even get past the first screen or something. Stuff like that needs to. I feel like the attention isn't even good, but you need someone to be like, hey, average consumer that just looks at this and thinks, oh, this might be like Legend of Zelda. No, you shouldn't buy this.
Well, that in the perfect world, those games wouldn't exist because someone will put more effort into it. But
yeah,
that's the problem with having a market where anything can be released for. If you have $99 and you want to take your time to or not take your time to make something, you can do it. You can just push stuff and shovel stuff out there. That's why I am not a fan of the mobile market per se. There are your good games that are out there on the mobile market. Angry Birds, critical success. Darling of a game. You have a bunch of other games that break the mold of being a bad game, but those are one out of billion. You have for every one, I'm sure there's 100 million bad games for every. Oh my God, this franchise is going to go.
And honestly, Steam is getting that way too. I feel like Steam is really getting bad with like their curating and just letting stuff through the fences between their early access stuff, their green light, and everything. I feel like it's such a mess, that storefront.
It is. I agree because I actually only go on. But I'm one of those enlightened individuals who does his research. There are very few games that I jump in blindly with.
And you know who you have to thank for that? Gaming journalists.
Game journalists.
That was the other point I wanted to get to, was like that. The people who say that the job is dying out, the career is dying out, and we don't need them anymore. That's why we need them, because it's so easy to make a game right now, and so easy to put it up. Like, we need people to kind of elevate the really talented ones.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to put the other people down that just aren't quite as good, but if you got somebody making the next Legend of Zelda or something, and they're just being overlooked by all this like crappy Angry Birds clones, then there's a problem with that.
Right. The quality of the work is not being the quality work is not being rewarded as it should. Yeah. For the most part, because there is so much. Because again, video games have grown way beyond what they were when we were kids. When I was a kid, there were. Everyone complains about. Well, this is again unfair because there's two reasons for this. But everyone complains about, oh, there's not enough games that are coming out for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, or per year there's only this many games that come out. For the NES, there were even at a point there were even less because Nintendo. But that was due to Nintendo saying, hey, each company can only put out 3 games a year on the NES. That's why a lot of shell companies, what do you call them, Sunsoft, and a lot of shell companies were other companies putting out other games, so they could break up and have multiple games. They found a workaround around it to get people games, but
I think Konami had like 2 or 3 fake companies just
to get more games out there.
But I mean, you get those people. But like the games are out there, and like it's just a matter of sifting through and finding the good ones. But I mean, in the same sense, it's good that it's that easy for people to get that many games out there, man. Because now you're broadening people's horizons. Like honestly, like the mobile market probably did help jumpstart this little indie game movement a little bit. You know, like you're getting exposure to more different types of games. You have it easily accessible, and you know what? There's a free version of every single thing. As far as the mobile market's concerned, there's like a free version of every single thing out there. There's a demo out there, and that's something that started to come back up recently more too. You didn't always get demos. Demos are are a wonderful thing to at least tell you how you're going to enjoy the game if you want to play more of it. We used to get a demo with every single game you got back in the day. Like, remember the PlayStation discs, man? When you would get those little those demo discs, it would have like 20 different demos on there for all sorts of games that were coming out. Like, what happened to stuff like that anymore? You know, you try to find a demo for something, and sometimes it's not there. Or like, maybe 7 out of 10 games.
But again, there are things like YouTube that fill in that gap. yeah, you may not get to, again, with the Let's Play videos, you may not get to play that game, but you can watch and listen to somebody intimately explain, if they're doing it right, how this game functions, or you can actually watch them playing a broken thing. That's what, again, with the reviews, when they say, "Oh, this game is broken. This is what's wrong with it." You have that option. They're informing you. They're giving you the reason why this game is not something that you may not want to purchase or be a part of.
You know what I think about those people playing those broke down games though? Like if I see someone playing a game, like if I'm doing on Twitch or something, I'm watching someone play something, and it's like, oh, this sucks, or you can't do this. I sit there and wonder, I'm like, what is he doing wrong? Maybe he's doing something wrong. Maybe it's something I could get. Maybe he's on a different level.
Well,
You know?
Again, agreed. Like one of my favorite quote unquote hack and slash games is Metal Gear Rising. A lot of people didn't agree with me that it should be on somebody's Game of the Year list somewhere. But phenomenal game because people didn't like it because it didn't have a block button. But if you're good at a parry system, boom, you're in business. That's what Platinum Games does well. But beyond that, there's reasons for. Again, you have to look at multiple people. You can't say, oh, well, this one guy couldn't do it. Why? You do, again, that's where your research has to come in. You have to know if you want something, you should never go in blind and say, okay, I'm just going to buy. Well, now with as informed as we are as people, because you can take in media anywhere. You can pull out your phone right now, hop on YouTube. I'm sure 90% of the non-third world has a smartphone. This was saying, you have countries that don't have running water. No, they don't have smartphones. But if there's somewhere you can walk to and get a Fresca or a Mexican Coke, and you can drink the water and it won't send you to the bathroom and give you dysentery, you have a smartphone and you can use it and you can watch or find out about something that you want to know about.
You know something though, those people who do that stuff, yeah, there's technology available everywhere. I don't think you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to use their technology. There is a good amount of people out there who can't do simple things like read a map to find out what direction they're going in, much less look up a video and read something about it. Everything, it's still, honestly, the way information gets around is by word of mouth. If they see something on YouTube or on any kind of like review site, they take in a portion of it. They hear the beginning and the end of it. They don't really hear in the middle of it. They just kind of get, oh yeah, he bashed it, or he didn't like it too much. And that's where it's kind of at. That's like back with the journalism thing. People don't take in the information like they should. Like no one has conversations anymore about anything. It's just like, oh yeah, that sucked. Oh, that was cool. Oh, people like this. I should check it out. And that's essentially what it turns into. It's just how many people are liking it. Everyone's following the masses. It's not really well, these people didn't like it, but these people did. I should see why. No one wants to go deeper.
Trying to go viral.
Yeah.
Damn people.
Damn them. That's why I always say I hate people but love gatherings.
That's deep. That's deep.
Like the gathering of the Juggalos? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
No? Oh.
No.
Okay, on a different level from you, I guess.
No juggalos at all. That's the gathering I'm not a fan of.
I think, I don't know. What do you think? Is that enough discussion?
That sounds like it. That sounds like it. It sounds like it. Like we hit a good sweet spot. Yeah. Silence is always the best motivator for ending things.
All right. That wraps up another Cross-Site Chatter with Average Joe Gaming, Dollar TV, and Mo.
You can't see me, but I'm raising my fist in the air right now.
Ah, there you go.
Hey, Jay, edit that in.
Yeah. I slap a in memory of picture.
Yeah, I'm Austin. If you want to follow anything that I do, you can check out AverageJoeGaming.com. Check out our YouTube page at Average Joe Gaming, our Twitter at Average Joe Gaming with no G on the end. I am personally on Twitter Aesop Beef. That's AESOP B3EF. And I'd love for you to like and subscribe and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Jay.
All right. I can be followed and found on several things. You can. We have there's Duller TV on Facebook. It's on Twitter. We have Twitch by the same name. We also have a YouTube channel, which you'll be hopefully liking and seeing this on also. Like and subscribe on YouTube. They did VidCon this past weekend, so I've been looking at what people have been telling me they went to VidCon about how I should be doing this shit. Also, if you would like, again, follow me personally on the Twitters, The Prophet's Mind. I'm usually, if I do post anything, it's usually nonsensical, but it's nice to hold a conversation every now and then. Again, video games. Hopefully, very soon. Speaking of Let's Plays and things like that, very soon. Hopefully, we can finish off with the Turtles movie coming in very soon. We can finish off our series of Turtles Out of the Shadows.
We got 2 more chapters, right?
Yes, and I've already maxed out all my characters waiting for you guys because I've been so pumped on playing this game because it's a bad game, but it's Turtles, and I'll play it. But yes, you can find me on almost all social media, even on Google Plus. Just look for me. Look for us.
Looking for him.
I'm looking. Hey, I guess I can throw a plug in there too, since
there you go.
I got some stuff going on, right?
Do it.
I got some things going on. You know, Brain Sports. It's sports with a Z at the end. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Brain Sports with a Z at the end. If you're in the Chicagoland area, feel free to come join us. We do trivia every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Covers everything. We do video games. I love video game stuff. So if you come out, maybe I'll do something for you. But follow us. We always do trivia and all sorts of fun things if you're in the area.
And if you come out and mention that you saw him here, someone will fund buying you a beer.
Actually, no. Here, this is what we're not even gonna go with funding of the beer. But if you come out and you mention Duller TV or you mention Average Joe Gaming, I will start you off with 5 bonus points for the night already.
Boom. See, there you go. You can already be ahead winning in real life games. Hashtag winning.
I'm writing Brain Sports down.
It's yeah, just so we can spell it for everybody. BRAINSPORTZ.
Yeah, that is correct.
So at Brain Sports, you guys.
It'll be in the description.
Boom.
Of this video. Fantastic. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. I always like talking games with you guys.
Woo! And I do too. Austin's one of my best friends. You know, I don't say it enough. I don't feel like I say it enough, but Austin is one of my best friends. He stopped me from being a completely socially awkward person and not socializing with other people that enjoy video games.
I'm happy we're friends, Jay. You're one of my best friends too. I'll never forget DJ Hero at GameStop.
That was when a friendship was forged.
Yep. It's forged in turntables and DJ Hero hats.
Yes, I spent like 8 hours at for the people who don't know this. Spent like 8 hours at GameStop demoing and showing people how to, just because I wanted to check it out, and I wasted a whole Sunday because it was I was there almost from open to close, like an hour shy on both sides.
I made him an honorary employee that day.
Huzzah! Still have the shirt, hats, and all that stuff.
Probably got the shirt somewhere. I don't know. DJ Hero. That was a great fucking game, right?
It was. I appreciated it.
All right, guys. I'm getting out of here.
All right. Woo!
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. Cross-Site Chatter.